The 856th edition of the MMA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog. Get up to $1,000 deposit match when you sign up at UnderdogFantasy.com using promo code MMASGPN.
Heidi ho, degenerinos. Welcome to episode 856 of the MMA Gambling Podcast, the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, dedicated to one of our friends on YouTube, Brian Fusco, who gave us a nice comment the other day. He says, "You two really suck picking fights. You always shit the bed." So thank you, Brian Fusco. Obviously, you've been watching the show because we're both horrible at making picks. The only word capitalized in that whole sentence is bed for some reason. So anyhow, shout out to you, Brian Fusco. Hopefully everyone else agrees that Gumby and I are the worst at picking fights, and we're going to be horrible again today. We got some UFC. Now, normally,
I hit 10 straight last
Normally, this is where I brag about how good I am at UFC, and Gumby can't keep up, but not this week. No. Last week. Gumby destroyed last week. Now you're saying 10 straight. I have 9 straight. I forgot to recount here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Did you get the first 3 fights wrong, Gumby?
I did, yeah.
Okay, there was only 12 fights on the card.
Oh,
so,
was there only 12?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 9-3 is still a very good night when you hit a couple of big dogs as well, right?
Yeah, plus 400, is that what? Or I think we said 380 when we broke down Co on the show.
Yeah.
But I'd say even more importantly than getting the Co pick right was how I got the Co pick right. He literally did exactly what I said he would, in that he dismantled Oban Elliott, who I've been waiting. No offense to Oban Elliott. I've been waiting for that guy's downfall for a really long time. Not even because I dislike him as a human being, but just being like, man, is he out kicking his coverage? Just getting matchup after matchup that's good for him. Finally, he got one that was bad for him, and Co made him pay. I got some really nice compliments in the Discord. You weren't active on fight night, but you would have.
No,
those
I didn't watch it till days later. But yes, I would have been spoiled. But yeah, you were getting compliments for picks you made like years ago. Gumby, you're.
Somebody dropped the. Was it Venezi who dropped the?
No, it was someone else.
John Salter victory.
Yeah, John. Yeah, amazing. Yeah, so Gumby went 9-3. Despite, don't listen to his 10 and 2. That's a lie. Plus 110 Fiziev, plus 390 Co, plus 225 Daria. So he destroyed. He got his Roundtree and Zelznyakova were his locks of dogs. He nailed those. I hit my lock oral by, missed on the other 2. So anyhow,
Gumby looked great, other than being 10 pounds overweight.
Yeah, other than that. But luckily his opponent was overweight too, I think. So anyhow, Gumby is creeping closer. I'm still up to $150 if I bet 100 on every fight. Gumby is down to 82. So you've really cut the gap. You gained $1,200 on me, or $1,100 on me last week. So this week could be it. You could, depending on how different our picks are, this could be the week that you pull it.
I said there was still time.
Yeah, there's definitely still time. It is only June. All right, we're going to be talking to UFC 317. After I remind you that NASCAR's in-season tournament is running right now. Wait a minute. This doesn't make any sense at all. NASCAR's in-season tournament, we're running a free contest. That's bad grammar. But anyhow, I didn't write it. Well, it looks like we're running a contest, Gumby, for NASCAR's in-season tournament. Head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/NASCAR contest for your chance to win a $200 gift card, and make sure to subscribe to the NASCAR Gambling Podcast. The bosses won't watch me complaining about their grammar, will they? No. We're safe, right? No one cares about MMA.
I think you're good.
No one cares about MMA. Just you sickos watching us now. All right, we're people care about this fight card. So we have our second pay-per-view of the month, which is exciting stuff. UFC 317, Topuria versus Oliveira. I wanted to say 2, but no, we don't have a rematch for a change. This is coming Saturday as per usual. Today is all about the prelims, which start at 6:30 p.m. We have the usual ESPN Plus, all that stuff for the early prelims. And then when we get to the main prelims, we'll be on ESPN proper. Any thoughts on the prelims before we dive into things? I know you're upset that our favorite felon that hides in dog kennels is falling off the card. But other than that,
did you see, I don't know if it was Tapology or if it was somewhere else, but it said Dumas dropped out. There was like a little note. It said Cedricus Dumas dropped out, and in parentheses it said crime.
No, for real? Wow. Is that true, though, I wonder? Yeah. Is that why he dropped out? I haven't heard anything.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know, but like that's a real possibility, right? Like maybe he went to get on allowed to leave the state.
Yeah.
the timing was just about right for being like,
Yep.
no, you can't leave Florida. We're going to arrest you, kind of deal.
Yeah. Yeah, he makes Jon Jones look like the God-fearing choir boy he pretends to be. That's for sure. Cedricus Dumas says, "Hold my beer," Jon Jones. All right. So we lost that fight. Anything else stand out on the prelims before we dive into it in depth?
A couple of signees that I've been waiting for. A couple of signees I didn't see coming. So like that's kind of it's fun in a different kind of way in terms of like, you know, breaking down. Is it the first fight we're gonna do here? Is Ewert and McVey? Because I know the order's been changed around a couple of times, and I didn't know when we had it in. And then I'm assuming are we goosey?
Yep, goosey next.
Second.
We're goosey in second. There's a good title.
We didn't do any of our pre-show stuff, so yeah, I'm kind of interested in both of these two prospects because they kind of came out of nowhere.
We were busy talking about AA baseball before we went on air. We weren't making plans for the podcast. So, all right, let's dive into it. We actually have probably a fight of the night on the prelims as well that we'll be talking about in short time. So, because there will be blood and someone will go to sleep. First fight is a prelim bout. Oh, this is taking place. If you want to go watch it, it's taking place at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. Perhaps you've heard of it. All right, first fight that we're going to jump into is a prelim fight. Short notice debuts for both men. So basically, it's going to cancel each other out. We've got Jackson McVey from the United States. Christopher Ewert, he is from Puerto Rico. Is that correct? I believe.
Chile.
Oh, man. I always do Chile and Peru. Dirty, I think. He's from Chile, yes. Let's tell you about McVey first. He's the Moose. 6-0, 3 knockouts, 3 submissions. So he's finished everyone. This is his debut. He was the man that originally was put in a fight with Cedricus Dumas. I can't say his name. Hopefully I won't have to say it ever again. And then that was like a short notice fight for both men. And then that fight fell through and now Ewert stepped in. So both guys haven't had real much time to prepare. So this is his debut in the UFC. He used to fight at 200 pounds. So basically light heavyweight, 6 years younger than Ewert, 3 inches taller, plus 110. El Tanque, the tank, is 7-0 with 5 knockouts. That would be Ewert. This is his debut as well. Multiple region championships on his
mantle.
Correct. Get our merch, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store. Used to fight down at 170, minus 130. So a couple of newcomers, close lines. Hopefully Gumby knows lots about both men for us.
I know both of these guys fought in the last month. Which is part of the allure of having them. And both, one of them had a much longer. Ewert is coming off of fighting. Remember Baby Goose, Reese Watkins? He just beat Reese Watkins not that long ago. So, both guys should be in fight shape. I'm gonna go underdog here. I'm gonna go Jackson McVey.
Me too. I'm glad you agree. Whew,
yeah, I went and watched some of the film on Ewert, and like, first of all, he looked really good against Baby Goose, letting those hands go. The only thing I don't like about his striking is it looks like he can't bend his knees. And I don't mean
that's an issue.
I don't mean to be mean, but he's like all of his striking, like when he strikes, his legs are completely straight, and it's like bizarre because he's got so many TKOs. You would assume he generates a lot of power, and that form doesn't lend itself to generating a lot of power. So I'm like kind of confused by that. But on the other token, like, he's good at striking, works the body, does all the things you'd like there. But I then went one fight back, this guy named Aaron Chambers, and Chambers had him down pretty easily, took him to some bad places. And granted, he came back and won. That's actually one of the ones he won with a body shot. But like the fact that he had issues with the grappling is why I like McVey here, because McVey, first of all, keeps good range by working kicks. He's like very, very, very tall for the weight class. He's a big dude despite not being particularly ripped. And he like throws lots of front kicks, keeps people at bay. And then when they get too close, his grappling is really sharp and it's fast. He's got like a 30-second Dars choke in his career, which is like nuts. He does have KO power, although granted, definitely not as good of a striker as Ewert. But I'm going to go with the grappler here and the guy who I think should be able to drag him down. Give me Jackson McVey.
Yeah, I was leaning McVey first. He was favored against Dumas, which was pretty impressive considering Dumas is Whether you like him or not, he is a veteran in the UFC. He's fought quite a few times.
He beat Mateusz Panas.
Yeah, there you go. I like that McVey's fought 4 times on the LFA stage as well, which is Ewert fought a couple times in Fury, which is good, but LFA is obviously the top regional promotion. I like his well-roundedness. Obviously, as you said, he's got the grappling in his back pocket. He's bigger. He's much younger. So I was surprised to see him as a dog here. Why do you think he's a dog for this one, but he was a favorite for Dumas?
I don't know. That's kind of weird to me. Maybe the knockout power of Ewert. Anytime you get an undefeated prospect and he does have a recent win over Reese Watkins, which is, that's a feather in his cap, so to speak. So I think that probably plays up. Whereas McVey's resume is a little bit more, a little bit less good. And also, I just think in general, every favorite against Rodrigues Dumas because they want to see him lose. And the public bets the other guy.
That's true. Yeah. People may be betting on McVey here, so you may want to get in while he is a dog. We're going to heavyweights now. Jhonata Diniz. He's from Brazil. Alvin Hines, you know him by another name. He is from the United States. Hines is Guzzi, obviously. We've talked about Guzzi Hines before. He is 7-0, 3 knockouts, 3 submissions. This is short notice UFC debut, plus 260. Short resume for him. Diniz, 8-1 with 7 knockouts. He's been knocked out once. 2-1 in the UFC. TKO loss in his last bout. 1-0 contender series, 22-7 in kickboxing and champion. 2 inches taller than Hines, 5 inches reach, minus 250. As fun as it is talking about Hines, interviewing Hines as you've done, watching him fight, I got to go with Diniz here. Short notice debut is a tough ask. Hines is still very inexperienced as well. Diniz has an extensive experience advantage here, especially when you consider his kickboxing career, and he's way bigger as well. So give me Jhonata Diniz here.
Yeah, but I'm gonna. Of course, happen anyway.
You're contractually obligated.
But also, here's why, though. I'm not contractually obligated. I've picked
He's not paying you.
I've interviewed. I've picked against guys I've liked. Diniz sucks on grappling defense. His grappling defense is awful.
He's not good. No,
it's bad. And the only thing Guzzi does, and granted, he's gotten much better at rounding out his game. Right, he won by head kick last time out. His hands are clearly coming around. Talk to him this week. He's not an idiot. He's not like, I'm going to go box and champion. Like, I'm going to go in there and do what's really good, which is be a dude from northern Minnesota who knows how to freaking wrestle. And like, as long as he gets in on those takedowns early, like Diniz looked like he had no idea what to do in terms of getting up when he was on the ground before. How long will it take Guzzi to sub him? Because like Guzzi's got good arm triangles. He's got good back takes. All it takes is him to take him down and drag him into the deep waters, and he's going to finish him. And even if he doesn't finish him, I think he's going to wear him down with the ground game. So, yeah, give me Guzzi here.
Wouldn't hurt my feelings one bit if Guzzi comes through here. He's a fun character. All right, before we dive into some more winning plays, I'm going to tell you about MyBookie. We're brought to you by MyBookie.ag. MyBookie is your place to bet in every sport, including the MLB, WNBA, golf, and of course, football futures. MyBookie accepts customers from a ton of locations. They have easy deposit and lightning fast payouts using crypto, and they have all these UFC lines that we're talking about today. So head to mybookie.ag, sign up with our promo code MMASGPN, and then you get 100% deposit match up to $1,000. Terms and conditions apply. That's mybookie.ag, promo code MMASGPN. If you feel lucky, you want to win something, Circa's Ultimate Fantasy Football giveaway is on for a few more days, so hurry. Circa Resort and Casino in Las Vegas is giving away the ultimate fantasy football experience for a 12-person league to draft in Vegas. Be treated like VIPs for their stay. You'll get a limo ride from the airport, a $5,000 tab for stadium swim, and a hotel stay for you and your 11 league mates. You can always get 15% off at all the Circa properties with promo code SGP15. And it's the last chance to enter the Circa Ultimate Fantasy Football giveaway. So go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/circa. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/CIRCA. All right, last fight on the early prelims. So these guys are headlining the early prelims. Welterweight, Niko Price and Jacobe Smith. Let's break her down by telling you about Price, the hybrid. 16-8 with 2 no contests, 10 knockouts, 3 submissions. He's been knocked out 5 times, submitted once. 8-8 with 2 no contests in the UFC. 1-3 over his last 4, 2-4 over his last 6. He did lose his last fight. He's a regional champ, or was a regional champ. 2012 pro MMA debut. 2 inches height, 4 inches of reach over Smith. He's been outstruck in the UFC by 0.37 strikes per minute. He has 6 kids with the 7th on the way. Maybe the 7th came already. I forgot to check. plus 1,200. That's the most important stats right there. That he's got 6 or 7 kids to run after. Jacobe, you can call him Kobe, Cobe, is 10-0 with 8 knockouts. He's 1-0 in the UFC, 4 straight wins via TKO, 1-0 on Contender Series. Used to fight at 185. 7 years younger than Price. Better striking stats, more active landing strikes than Price. He's outstruck his 2 opponents we have stats for by 5.37 strikes per minute. Mine is 14.08. It's gotten a little crazy here, Gumby.
Yeah, that's a nuts line. And you know, I'm gonna pick him anyway. Like I like Jacobe Smith. I think the ceiling's really high for this guy. You know, he's I think hit 8 of his in his UFC and Contender Series career put together. He's an exceptional wrestler. You know, Niko Price, not known for his takedown defense. Not particularly been good off of his back in his career. And then in addition to that too, like Niko Price has been knocked out 5 times in his career, and you got a guy with 8 knockouts, and it's not just TKOs for Jacobe Smith, despite him being like, you know, a damn good wrestler with some pretty good ground and pound. Big, heavy left hand that he throws, knocks people out with it. So, like, you know, if you're trying to make this look a little better, it's definitely Jacobe by KO, but I don't even know how playable that line will be. But yeah, this is a Jacobe Smith fight.
Mine is 250. Is that playable enough for you? Not for me.
You could throw it in a parlay.
Yeah. Yeah, Smith obviously, I think he's going to win too. Price does, like you said, he's not good at grappling, and he takes a beating as well, and doesn't always survive the beating. So you got to take the much younger guy who's just been cutting through people. This is an appropriate fight though for both guys. You know, Price is probably on his way out.
Yeah, this is the right step up for Jacobe.
Yep, crafty veteran. So someone who gets knocked out but won't go down easy. You really have to earn it. All right, this is the fight I think is probably going to, if they give away a fight of the night, this should be it, right? Unless it ends too fast. Actually, now I think about it,
this isn't my top 3.
This is going to end. This is going to end too quick. Now I think about it. Terrance McKinney, Viacheslav Borshchev, U.S. versus Mr. They have a Russian flag beside his name now. Let's break her down. 155. Gumby was very adamant that this is not going to. You don't think it's going to be a good fight?
No, this is gonna be a bad compare. You want to put this over Hyder Amil versus Jose Delgado? You want to put this over, you know, a Felipe Lima fight? Like, no, there's no chance this wins fight of the night.
I know how the UFC thinks, though, Gumby. They're very base.
Sloppy
they're very
and
base.
Bad.
Yes,
means
exactly.
Good.
They're very base. All right, Borshchev is Slava Claus, 8-5-1 with 6 knockouts. He's been submitted once. 3-4-1 in the UFC. Loss over his last 3. 2-4-1 over his last 7. 1-0 in Contender Series. An inch taller than McKinney. He's outstruck his opponents by 0.48 strikes per minute, plus 148. T-Rex is 16-7, 8 knockouts, 8 submissions. So he's finished everyone. 5. He's been knocked out 5 times, submitted twice. 6-4 in the UFC. He's been 3-4 and 3-3 over his last 6. TKO win in his last bout. Missed weight before at 155. 0-1 in Contender Series. Who did he lose to, Gumby?
Terrance McKinney. Oh, that was up a weight class, though.
And it was a long time ago, too.
I think it was at 170. Or was it at 155, and then he went down to 45 and back to 55? It was up a weight class, I think. I can't remember.
A freakishly big guy for featherweight. It was featherweight.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. He decided to go up when he eventually made the UFC, and that was big for him. I had that
hit by a flying knee
backwards.
Yeah.
Oh, Sean.
There you go. Good job. Yes, he got flying knee by Sean Woodson because it's kill or be killed when it comes to Terrance McKinney. All right, that was Contender Series. Used to fight, as I said, down at 145, up at 170. He's got 4 inches reach on Borshchev, 2 years younger, better striking stats, more active landing strikes, better grappling stats as well. He's outstruck his opponents by 3.32 strikes per minute, minus 170. Give me McKinney, even though Borshchev is impossible to finish. This may be the day that he gets finished. Not just a sloppy striking battle. Hopefully McKinney leads into his grappling because I think that will be a big advantage over Borshchev. But I like McKinney here.
So I originally wrote down McKinney as my pick with the exact same rationale that, you know, as long as McKinney wrestles here, that should work and should lead him to a victory. Do you know how long it's been since Terrance McKinney shot a takedown?
A long time. That's the problem.
It's been 2 years. It's been 2 years since he shot a takedown, and it's been almost 3 since he hit one. because his last 2 he missed, and then he hasn't shot one for another 3 fights. And for me, that's good enough reason to take Slava here. Between that and the fact that Slava is really hard to finish, I think both are nightmares for Terrance McKinney, because if finish, it doesn't mean he's not going to empty the clip in the first round anyway, because that's what he does. He empties the clip in the first round. He's not there in the second round, and he gets knocked out a ton after that happens. And like, yeah, I've hated the wrestling defense of Slava Claus. You know me, I would love nothing more than to pick against the guy who is probably better on the feet. Because I do think, I'll also add, I think Slava's better on the feet. He lives behind his jab. He sets up combinations. He doesn't just slug. I think he's much better on the feet. But, like, I would love nothing more to pick against the guy who's better, like, I think has a flaw in the defensive wrestling. I just picked Guzzi to beat Jhonata Diniz, right? So I would love nothing more than that, but I do think the fact that he won't shoot is too big of a problem. And the fact that he doesn't have to do it for more than 1 round. I'm going to go Slava, top of this card, but I'm taking Slava.
Yeah, as I was reading their bios, I was thinking about switching my pick. That's how unsure I am in this one. I'm pretty sure that the fights, if you want to take the under, it's probably safe, right?
I don't know. Well, like, it's probably set at 1.5, right? And
it seems so, yeah.
Yeah, it's probably set at 1.5, and the problem with the under there is if you like the Slava slide, if you like the Slava side, he's got, so that might take 7.5 minutes, and maybe he gets a finish in minute 8 or 9. So maybe I don't like the under here.
Yeah, I'll have to ask Yanni. Yanni's the king of the unders, right? That's always his. Oh, it's almost that season, Gumby. Almost time.
Yeah, it's almost
you excited?
Season.
I'm excited for Yanni. It's almost Yanni time.
That's where Chris Ewert came from, by the way. He was supposed to be fighting week 1 of Contender Series. He had a fight book for it.
Yep, nice. So he was hopefully in decent shape for well, actually, no, not hopefully. We both picked against him. Hopefully, he's a big fatty come Friday for weigh-ins. All right, these ladies will not be big fatties. We're going down to 125. Viviane Araujo from Brazil, Tracy Cortez from the United States. Flyweights, as I said, we'll break it down. We'll tell you about Araujo first. Vivi, you can call her. She is 13-6, 3 knockouts, 4 submissions. She's been knocked out 1 time. She's durable. 7-5 in the UFC. Win over her last 3. 2-3 over her last 5. 3-4 over her last 7. Used to fight at 115 and 135. She was a regional champion. She has been fighting since 2015. 3 inches of reach over Cortez. More active landing strikes than Cortez. She has been outstruck though in the UFC by 0.83 strikes per minute. She's at plus 210. Cortez 11-2, 1 knockout, 1 submission. She's been submitted once. She owes us some finishes. 6-1 in the UFC, 11-1 over her last 12. She did lose her last bout to Rose Namajunas. Has missed weight before at 125, so keep an eye on that. Used to fight at 135. 1-0 in Contender Series, 2-1 in Invicta. She beat good people in Invicta too. She beat Aaron Blanchfield in Invicta.
She didn't really though.
I know. That's she has a few of those on her record.
I think just 1. Like I don't think we need to write up.
At least was there not at least 1?
No, I think she's beaten everybody in the UFC that I thought she. Okay. I don't think she got gifted any. She did get gifted that Blanchfield one, but I don't think she got gifted the other ones.
No. All right, she's an inch taller than Araujo, 7 years younger, better striking stats. She's outstruck her opponents by 0.7 strikes per minute, minus 225.
Is it me first this time?
It is you, and I saw your article. I know where you're going.
Yeah, I like Tracy Cortez in this spot. In fact, it's one of my favorite spots in the whole card. Whether you roll it into a parlay or what you do with that number, or whether you like it just straight up, like I think she's going to be way better than Araujo. I think they're underrating her coming off of that fight where she got her eyelashes kicked off.
Yep.
It's silly, but like, a fight with Rose Namajunas look bad and make people forget just how good they are too. Yep. And we just saw Rose Namajunas sort of take the glamour away in a fight that I picked Rose in, by the way.
You think you're a UFC genius now, don't you?
And so Cortez, she's got the physicality for it. We've sort of seen Vivi. I don't want to say she's like, on her way out, but she's definitely like on the downside of her career. She's getting slower. That like physicality she had when she first got to the UFC is like not as impressive anymore. And like, that's what Cortez is good at, right? She's a bully. And it's just like hard to bully Rose Namajunas when you can't get on the inside without eating 42 jabs and having your eyelashes kicked off first. So like, I think, we're going to see, Cortez make it dirty, make it nasty. And I like her better in that case too, because Vivi's takedowns, once she's on top, they're pretty good. She just doesn't hit them at a high enough rate anymore, and I think I saw her takedown success rate is down under like 45% now. And it's just because those numbers have trailed off lately. So yeah, I like Cortez in this.
Yeah, I like the younger fighter, bigger fighter to bully her way to a victory in this one too. So I think Cortez is a pretty solid pick for this fight as well. Another, like I said, about the about the Smith fight. This is a reasonable step up for Cortez. Well, actually, I guess it's a step down technically. She fought Rose, but this is
definitely a step down.
Yeah, this fight makes sense for her. And the Rose loss is looking better by the day. So give me Cortez as well. All right, we got 2 more fights to go up. First, I'm going to tell you about Underdog Fantasy. Underdog Best Ball Mania is happening all summer long, giving away $15 million in prizes, including a $2 million prize or purse, you could say, to first place. No waiver wire, no arguments about trades. Best Ball is the best way to play fantasy football. Underdog also is a great place to play Pick'em. That reminds me, I should do a Pick'em video for this event for UFC 317. So keep your eyes peeled for that. And as of now, keep your ears and eyes peeled for a Gumby bonus Underdog Pick'em play for us.
Yeah, we'll go with the Braves playing the Mets again tonight, Wednesday night. I'm going to take the higher than on Juan Soto's strikeouts. Looking for a half on one. The projection is 0.5 strikeouts. We're going to take the higher than on that because he has been fanning quite a bit in this series with the Braves. I've been enjoying it immensely, seeing Strider got him one. Dylan Lee got him with the bases loaded the other day. Yeah, like, let's say the Braves get him again in this one, higher than on Juan Soto's strikeouts.
Nice. I like it. All right. Sign up for the promo code MMA SGPN to claim your special pick and first time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus credits. So underdogfantasy.com, promo code MMA SGPN. And you've heard us talk about Rhythm before, and they just dropped a game-changing feature called Power Trends. These are AI-detected patterns where Rhythm's model has consistently won and has a high ROI. Think a strikeout prop that wins 59% of the time when the line and win probability hit a certain range. Power Trends are updated daily and exclusive to Rhythm. No touts, no noise, just clean, data-backed bets. Download the Rhythm app, check out Power Trends, and start betting smarter. We will be. Have you found anything there over the past few days, Gumby?
I've been looking at those strikeout numbers on the unders for Braves pitchers, which has bummed me out. But hey, if it makes go and check out Power Trends and see sometimes those numbers.
Yep. Spencer Schwallenbach broke our hearts the other day. All right. So get a 7-day free trial. sportsgamblingpockets.com/rhythm, RITHMM. All right. Gumby is excited about this next fight, right, Gumby?
This might be the best fight on the whole card.
A combined 20-1 record, 20-1. Hyder Amil versus Jose. You can call him Jose. He's from the States. Jose Delgado. 3 5-minute rounds at 145. Tell you about the Hurricane, Hyder Amil. 11-0, 6 knockouts, 1 submission. 3-0 in the UFC, 1-0 Contender Series, 3-0 in Bellator. So he's fought at a high level. RIP, Bellator. More active landing strikes than Delgado. He's outstruck his opponents by 2.84 strikes per minute. He's at plus 140. Delgado, 9-1, 5 knockouts, 4 submissions. He's never been finished. He owes his rounds. 1-0 the UFC. He's won 6 straight, 4 straight via TKO. 1-0 Contender Series. Used to fight at 155. 2 inches of height, 3 inches of reach over Amil. 8 years younger. He's outstruck his opponents by 2.98 strikes per minute, minus 150. All right, despite all the stats pointing to Delgado, I'm going Amil here. I think he's more well-rounded. I like his resume better. He's fought a higher level of competition. Maybe I just like him better because I've seen him fight more. Hopefully that's not just the case. I think he's worthy of a dog player. So give me Hyder Amil.
Yeah, I'm going Jose Delgado.
Oh, boo.
I like a lot of what I've seen from Jose Delgado. I mean, like, I liked him going into the Contender Series. When they signed him, I was like, hell yeah, Jose Delgado's a sick pickup. And then immediately, like, he me why I liked him, and that immediately started like an absolute beast. I talked before about, hey, I'll pick a guy against the guy who I interview all the time and really like. I interviewed Connor Matthews before his fight with Jose Matthews. He's a Massachusetts boy, trains with some of my old training partners. I was like, I'm pretty sure my pick that week for a prop of the week was Delgado by KO, because I was like, that's how good Jose Delgado is. That's how high I am. Amil, super durable, good cardio, but like, I actually like the grappling of Delgado quite a bit. I think he's 3 of 4 on his takedown attempts in the UFC and contender. He like sneakily is pretty damn good on the ground too. MMA lab background. So yeah, give me Jose Delgado. I think he's going to be faster. He's going to be sharper. And I think the cardio of Amil won't be as weaponized against a guy like him.
All right. You got it. All right. Our main event of the prelims actually would be a main event of a UFC Apex card very easily. Jack Hermansson versus Gregory Rodrigues. Gregory Rodrigues, sorry. He is from Brazil. Rodrigues, Sweden is the home of Hermansson. We're going to break it down by tell you about the Joker, Jack Hermansson first. He's 24-8, 11 knockouts, 6 submissions. He's been knocked out 3 times, submitted twice. 11-6 in the UFC. Lost win, lost win, lost win, lost win. He's not, I guess he's consistently inconsistent. He's not fought in over a year. February 2024 was his last fight. He's not lost since December 2022. So he's not been very active is what I'm saying recently. He was the Cage Warriors champion. Also, he has multiple regional championships on his
mantle.
Correct. Get our merch, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store. 0-2 in Bellator, 2010 Pro MMA debut. 2 inches of reach over Rodrigues plus 1.4 is the strike differential. So he outstrikes his opponents. Plus 180 is the number on the board. Hobocop, Rodrigues, 16-6, 10 knockouts, 3 submissions. He's been knocked out 4 times. 7-3 in the UFC. He's won 3 of 4 and 5 of 7. Got TKO'd in his last bout. He was the LFA champ and a regional champ. He went 0-1 contender series because he lost to ...
Oh, I don't remember that one.
Oh, really? Let me think. Let me check, actually. I was thinking Brendan Allen, but I don't think it was Brendan Allen. He lost to Jordan Williams. Did not age well.
Oh, no. We haven't talked about Jordan Williams in ages.
Yeah, Jordan Williams used to get a lot of shrapnel back in the day. Yeah, he lost to Jordan Williams. All right, Rodrigues has been fighting since 2014. He's 2 inches, has 2 inches height over Hermansson. He's 4 years younger. He's more active lighting strikes. He's got better grappling stats. He's outstruck his opponents by 0.65 strikes per minute in the UFC and the contender series. He's at minus 188.
Me first.
You got it.
I'm going to take the I'm going to take Jack Hermansson. I think he's a nightmare match RoboCop in the same way as he was a nightmare matchup that we didn't see coming, but a nightmare matchup for Joe Pyfer in that, like, no matter what kind of fight you try to bring Jack Hermansson will continue. Jack Hermansson, under no circumstance, is going to be tricked into slugging with you, is going to be tricked into grappling with you if that's not what he intended, right? Like, because he intended to do that with Calvin 30 seconds. Like, he is not going to fight the type of fight you want to fight. He is going to fight, even if it is the most boring shit you've ever seen, like it was against Joe Pyfer. He's going to fight that way. And I don't think RoboCop can win that fight. I think RoboCop needs a certain level of, hey, let's slug this shit out. And that he's going to find that. And can RoboCop win? I mean, I think he's very good, but I think the very goodness of RoboCop is that he's a little bit nuts and he's willing to throw caution to the wind and he's dangerous. So if you take all that danger away and he create it himself without being obliged with it, I kind of think not. And for that reason, I like Jack Hermansson here.
Yeah, I'm taking RoboCop. Obviously super dangerous on the feet, but he also can grapple, which is a key here against Hermansson. But mostly I'm worried about Hermansson's age. He's 37. He's been very inactive over the past few years. And he can't win back-to-back fights, even though that's not really part of the handicapping here, but it is a factor. And Rodrigues basically only loses if someone knocks his block off, which is not really Hermansson's MO. So give me Rodrigues in this fight, but it should be a very interesting one. For sure. Not much consensus here. Let's give you a recap. He's got Hermansson. I have Hobocop. I have Amil. He has Delgado. Both have Cortez. I have McKinney. He has Borshchev. We both have Smith. I have Diniz. He has Hines. We both have McVey. So really
it's gonna be a weird one.
It's going to be a weird one. You can chat about it. People have been chatting about it for ages already in our Discord, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord, YouTube, MMA Gambling Podcast on YouTube, SGPN MMA on Twitter. He's at Gummy Vrila, and I'm at Jeff Fox Writer, at Jeff Fox Writer on Instagram as well. Hop into my Substack, get a free subscription, enter my weekly UFC pick'em contest at moneymma.substack.com. Gumby has a podcast, another one. It's called Top Turtle. Tell the people who was on it this week.
We got Jack Hermansson and Goozy Hines.
There you go. We just talked about both men. So check that out. And of course, you can check all of our stuff out at sportsgamblingpodcast.com, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store to get your merch, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon to get some bonus content. We shall be back tomorrow. Hobocop Fox, El Tanque, Vreeland. We'll talk to you then.